This movie is the 5th movie of Scream franchise. It's a requel, so it's kinda reboot and sequel at the same time. First, we need to remind you that the original movie that was released in 1996 is a fantastic horror movie. It was a clever, funny, crisp, and gleefully violent horror movie. The original Scream was the horror movie for horror fans because it was about the very rules of horror movies. A movie that discussed its hoary trappings not just narratively, but formally and thematically, diagnosing its subject while still supplying a sterling example of it. It's without a doubt revitalized the slasher movie that was rather a dead subgenre before it. This 5th movie sets its sight on toxic genre fandom and stagnant IP. Unfortunately, these are not strong enough as the foundations of a genuinely frightening horror film. The original had a playful energy, a genuinely sly sense of humor, and a real love of grisly violence that this new entry can't hope to match. This movie goes back to the original for inspiration, but it seriously overindulges in self-referential cleverness to the point of undermining the actual scare factor. The characters can't stop talking about the plot mechanics of slasher movies long enough to let much nail-biting tension take hold. The first few appearances of Ghostface pack enough punch, but as the action progresses, the filmmakers start teasing us with pointed music cues and shots set up to make us anticipate Ghostface's next appearance. That gives Ghostface's reappearances, when they do happen, feel less like a life or death encounter. The killings themselves are run-of-the-mill, jump-scare assaults staged with minimal invention or flair. It lumbers along with routine kills and few surprises, even when it makes lame attempts at shocking us. It's always fantastic to see the 3 original cast return in this one. We root for their survival, even though the film doesn't carve them out much more than perfunctory appearances, especially since these characters have literally no involvement in the new mystery. It's too bad that the new characters leave so little impression. A group of young adults who are nearly indistinguishable from one another in their stereotypical qualities, so much so that it's impossible to take any of their interactions seriously. The movie makes only few attempts at comic relief, spending more time on convoluted backstories. The heroine's backstory is a groaner. A should-be devastating development becomes totally flat. Aside from the lack of humor, the script is also very clumsy with exposition. It's tough not to be thoroughly bored by the conversations and utterly unaffected by the bloodshed. It's hard to get too invested in the peril of characters whose life being at stake. In the end, this movie is probably still useful as a mean for nostalgia. Anything else is not really worth it. Just wait for the streaming service.